Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids getting ready to start our 12th year of homeschooling. If you are not subscribed, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you are notified of all of my future videos. Today I am going to be sharing with you my homeschool curriculum picks for my 9th grader. Now, she would be in 9th grade if she were in public school. However, we have done a lot of 9th grade resources already. And so a lot of these resources would typically be used in 10th grade. Mainly, it is just how things have fallen for us as we have gone through all of the years and what we have purchased for curriculum in the past. This year is going to be a little bit different because we do not have a core level from Sunlight for Emma. We are using literature from Sunlight and we are using science from Sunlight. However, we are not buying a history core level for her this year. That may change as we go through our year if I feel like we don't have as much work to do. I'm so used to having so many books, and I will still have a lot of books for Jack and Lucy, but it's just a little bit different. Anyways, I'm going to turn the camera around and share with you all of the resources that I've gotten and go through it a bit with you. So let's get started. So we are going to start with history, and this year Emma is going to be doing this constitutional literacy course. It is American government, and from everything that I have read and researched online, it is a full year, full credit curriculum. There's 5 DVDs you watch, like a little lecture, I guess. Then you go through this notebook and there are all kinds of questions and more information and projects to go through. Now, I am planning to use this for the full year. I don't know how I'm going to plan it yet because I haven't figured out the planning section yet. It's a little bit harder when there aren't plans to go by, but for right now, I plan to do 1 lesson every week, week and a half, 2 weeks, and see how it goes. If Emma is flying through all of this information, all of the lessons and the DVDs, as well as the questions and all of this stuff, then I will probably add something. I don't know if it'll be a project or something else, but I do feel like it will be a really interesting course for her. So this is going to be part of her history this year, this constitutional literacy. It will be 1 full high school credit. The next part of her history is going to be this North Star geography. This is also another full credit course. There is a digital companion guide with this that has a PDF version of the student text, hands-on activities and projects, map work, memorization, and geographic research questions with the answers, quizzes, final exams, and outline and reference maps, note-taking pages, all of the things to make this into a full year course. Now, it can be accelerated. There is a schedule somewhere. Is it in here or is it in? Yes, okay. So there are several different schedule options. You can do it in a semester, in 1 year, in 2 years. We are planning on doing the 1 year unless Emma is really enjoying it and she wants to accelerate the work that she's doing. So we'll just have to see as we start out, but we are planning to start with this 1 year schedule for her. Now, Emma has done a lot of geography through Sunlight. It's kind of just included with their HBL levels, but I wanted her to have just a full geography class. It's not really a requirement. We do not have in the state of Maine separate high school graduation requirements. It's kind of just left up to the homeschool parent as long as we are within our homeschool law, but there aren't any different requirements for high school graduation. But I thought that this would be interesting, and because we are not using a Sunlight history level this year, I really wanted to have something robust for her because we're just using so many fewer books this year than normal for her. Yes, so I spent a lot of time researching different geography curriculum, and I really liked how this one was laid out. I thought the extra projects were good. I thought that because it has some quizzes and a final exam, I thought all of that was good. I'm excited to have her drawing out the maps, which is not something we have done a lot of. We have labeled maps, of course, but just actually the process of drawing a map I thought would be interesting for her. So I think this is going to be really an interesting course to go through together. So this is, again, geography, North Star Geography, and this is 1 full credit. So for science this year, Emma is going to be using the Apologia Exploring Creation with Biology. This is a full lab course, and we did also purchase the microscope that goes with this level. That is not a requirement for this course. And actually, I don't even think the dissections are a requirement. We purchased this through Sunlight. So because we purchased it through Sunlight, it does come with an instructor's guide. If you've used Sunlight before, you know that it has all of the notes and a schedule for you, as well as vocabulary and other information that you will need to complete the course. It does have, the Apologia does have a schedule in it already, I believe. At least all of the older ones do for elementary and middle school. So Apologia does have a daily schedule for all of their different curriculum, but we are most likely going to be following the Sunlight schedule instead of this schedule. I don't think that it's too different, but it is a little bit different. Now, this is a giant course. This is a textbook, the student textbook, that is quite in depth. I feel like there is going to be a lot of information to cover throughout this level. This is going to be, I believe I'm going to give Emma 1.5 credits for this because we are doing the lab component. And I am basing that primarily on how my local high school gives credit for science courses. If we did not do the lab associated with it, it would be 1 credit. And my local high school does offer a biology without the dissections. I think maybe they just watch videos for the dissections instead of physically doing them themselves. So we are going to be doing 1.5 credits for this biology level. It does come with tests and solutions, and it also comes, actually, so I believe the course only came with the Sunlight schedule, the tests and solutions, and this textbook. But I did purchase the student notebook to go with it. And the reason is because I have found when we have used Apologia in the past that it makes much more sense to have the different sections for notes, to have all of the questions that they give you in this textbook if they're already written out, so that she can just write them down here instead of having to rewrite them into a science notebook. I know a lot of people use those, what are they called? Composition notebooks as like a science lab book. I have always really hated those since my own high school days. So I like how they have these notebooks. I also like that they have the study guide questions. They have labs in here with, you know, how to go through a lab report, which I feel like is really important. It just helps give you the steps. Now, she did have a little bit of this when we worked on physical science through Apologia, but again, I just find that this is helpful for me as the homeschool parent to just have something that is going to help lead her through this course. I did take honors biology in high school, but I'm not really excited about the dissections. So this is her biology course, and I will show you the boxes with the lab, with all of the supplies in them as well. So this is the supplies kit for biology. This is just the general science kit that comes with the Apologia biology course. It has, you know, it just has some different supplies. There's some beans, there's some balloons, elastics, funnel, maybe soil, just the supplies that you need for some of the projects and experiments in this level. The next box that I have is the microscope supplies kit, and this is not a requirement, but because I did buy the microscope, it does come with slides and the droppers. It has some chemicals with it, so I'm not really sure what we have to do with this. I don't have the microscope up here, but I do. If you watched my sunlight unboxing video where I unboxed this stuff, you will see the microscope there. Again, this was an extra purchase for me, but because I have 2 younger kids coming up after Emma, I thought that it was worthwhile to purchase it. Then the last part is the dissection kit. It has a frog, it has a fish, a worm, a crawfish. So it has all of the tools you need for the dissection in this handy dandy little kit. We were really excited to see that it's sterilized by gamma radiation because we're big Marvel fans. But this, again, is also not, this is an extra purchase with the Apologia biology. You don't have to get this for the program, but we did get it. And then the other thing that I did do is on the Apologia website, they have online classes that you can get. And I don't know if it is a fluke or if I just got super lucky, but currently they have all of the, like, it's like a live class recording of the Apologia 3rd edition biology. And so they have it for free right now. And so I signed up for all of those videos. I'm not sure if Emma will use them or not, but just to have something extra, to have a teacher explaining all of the different modules, I think will be helpful. And then the other thing that we also do, usually with Apologia, is we get the audio version, and I just used one of my Audible credits to download the audio version of the textbook so that, because that's a giant textbook and sometimes you just don't want to read through it, or you just want to kind of follow along. So I also will have the audio version of the textbook for Emma to use. The next class that we have is Spanish 2, and we are doing this through BJU Press. Emma did Spanish 1 this past year, and she really enjoyed it. And so we are continuing on with Spanish 2. I think they only go through Spanish 3, but she loved the class. It was a class that was more interest-led for her last year. She has wanted to learn Spanish, and I decided to purchase Spanish 1 for her, and she did great. She got an A in the course, and I was incredibly pleased with how hard she worked. It's a high school level class, and so doing it in 8th grade was a little bit challenging, but I feel like she learned so much. And yes, so we are going to continue on with Spanish 2 this year. This is a full credit class, and it is taught, I guess it's self-paced, but there's 180 days of lessons. I do not separate things for honors versus regular courses, mainly because the colleges that I have talked to, they kind of disregard a lot of that. So I don't know. Maybe I will make multiple transcripts and have one with honors courses, but she's going to continue with Spanish 2 as her language this year. And again, it will be a full credit course. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is literature. And so she is going to be doing, English 1 is what I will call it on her transcript. We have Wordly Wise, book 9. We've used these for, 5 years now. And we like them. They're very easy to work through at your own pace. The kids just pick them up in the morning and go through a few of the exercises. And you know, when they finish the book, they're finished with vocab for the year. We really like it, and I always get the answer key, but I don't get any other, like I think there's actually a teacher's book that you can get to teach this but I just have them go through the different exercises, and that has been enough for us. We have analogies 2. This is also part of her English 1 or English 9, I don't know what we're going to call it, but we did Analogies 1 over the last 2 years. Analogies 1 came with Sunlight Level 100, which we did 2 years ago, and then we kind of continued it with Level J, which is what we did this past year. And then I have Help for High School, which is a new Brave Writer product for us. We have used Partnership and Faltering Ownership for the writing projects in the past, and we have also done Arrows and Boomerangs primarily. This year, I'm filming this before the Brave Writer book choices are out, so I don't know what books we're going to be using for Brave Writer this year. There's usually a lot of crossover between Sunlight book choices and guides from Brave Writer. They have a lot of single issues of darts, arrows, boomerangs, and I think even the slingshot now. There are some crossover books between Sunlight and Brave Writer. So in the past, what I've done is I've chosen books that we're already doing for Sunlight, but then grab the guide that goes with it from Brave Writer because I like their guides. Now, this is the writing side of Brave Writer. It's not, well, I mean, I guess the arrows and the boomerangs are grammar and spelling and copy work and discussion, comprehension, that kind of stuff. And these are the writing projects. So I've started reading through this. This is technically written to the student. There are notes to the parent in it. I'm going to be partnering with Emma for this program, this Help for High School. I'm not sure how I'm going to schedule it yet because there isn't a schedule with it that I've found yet. So I need to figure that out. But we're going to go through this together and see how it goes, how long it takes us. I'm really excited. I think that Emma's going to like it. She really enjoys the Brave Writer approach, and so do I. If you don't know anything about Brave Writer, Julie Bogart has an amazing series on the natural stages of growth in writing, which I think is super important for parents to go through. It's a series of podcasts and blog posts. And then also her book, The Brave Learner, really deep dives on her philosophy of education, I would say, and the Brave Writer lifestyle, which we do not follow to a T, but we do take a lot of the elements from Brave Writer and incorporate them into our homeschool. And I find that it's pretty seamless to do so with Sunlight. They have a lot of the same goals within Sunlight that Brave Writer does. So this is all about essay writing. It's going to be interesting to go through this with her. Yes, so I will have more about this when we go through our Brave Writer choices, which hopefully will be soon. Then the last part of English 1, I guess, for Emma is going to be this classical literature level 230 from Sunlight. This is part of the level 200 HBL package that they have, but because we're not doing the history of the church, which is that package level 200 history portion, I just purchased the literature portion separate. Now, I have read the majority of these books, and Emma has actually read a lot of these books as well, so I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes for her. She's really excited. I'm really excited. There is a parent guide and a student guide. So the parent guide and the student guide have all of the same information, except the parent guide also has answers to the questions in it. And if you're interested in seeing what the Sunlight instructors guides are like, I believe that you can download the first 3 weeks of all of the levels that they have as like a sample. So this is a full year of English and language arts, but I also add in the vocabulary. Even though there's vocabulary in here, I like to do the wordly wise. That's like an additional thing that you can do. You don't have to do, but it does have all of the writing in here as well. And so in the past, what we have done is we will pick and choose between Brave Writer writing projects and Sunlight language arts writing projects. It depends on the week. It depends on how my kids are doing. It really just depends. And then Sunlight does have rubrics to help with grading. I know that a lot of people do struggle with grading once you get into the high school levels, but Sunlight does offer these rubrics to kind of give you an idea of how to go about grading. Yes, so this is the literature that we're going to be doing, and now I'm going to share all of the books that we're going to be reading. So these are all books that Emma is going to be reading herself, and I might read some of them, some of my favorites with her. These ones are ones that I do not know much about, and we will see how it goes, if she likes them or not. This is What Hearts by Bruce Brooks, A Parcel of Patterns by Jill Patton Walsh, Moon Over Manifest by Claire Vanderpool, The Shining Company by Rosemary Sutcliffe, The Wounds of God by Penelope Wilcock, and The Hawk and the Dove, also by Penelope Wilcock, The Ramsey Scallop by Frances Temple. I feel like I have heard of this book before. I'm not sure. A Solitary Blue by Cynthia Voigt, and this says book 3 in the Tillerman cycle, so I don't know if she needs to read the first 2 books first before she reads this one. I have to look into that, because if she does, obviously I need to get those for her. Then we have Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, and PBS has a really great mini-series on this. That's another thing that we do when we read books. I always look for a movie option as well, especially a lot of books have been made into movies, obviously, and so it's always nice to sort of see the differences, like do a compare and contrast of the book and the movie. We have done that forever. We did it with Harry Potter, we did it with the Narnia books, we've always done that. So that will also be a portion of this literature, is if there is a movie option with the book, we will watch the movie after we read the book. She is going to be doing some Shakespeare this year. She has Twelfth Night and Romeo and Juliet. This is Shakespeare Made Easy, where they have the original, I think, so they have the original text and then a modern version. So the original text and then the modern version. So it's a little bit easier maybe to study that way. We have Robinson Crusoe, The Best of Father Brown. Again, this is a PBS miniseries, I think. Or maybe it is actually like a television show. I'm not sure how many seasons they have, but I think it's BBC, but they play it on PBS here. By G.K. Chesterton, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I'm really excited about this. I'm super excited about Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is one of my absolute favorite books. Emma read it years ago. I read it to Emma when she was really little, then she read it. She's done the audio version, she's done the all of the movies, all of the miniseries. I'm really excited about this. So it has the book and it has a lot of notes. It's like book, notes. Book, notes. So this is significantly larger than what we have read in the past. So it's annotated and edited. Pilgrim's Progress in Today's English by John Bunyan. I have not read this version, but I am really excited. And I think I think there's a children's version of Pilgrim's Progress, so we might do this together as a family. I'm not sure yet. The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis, The Wise Woman and Other Stories by George MacDonald, and then poetry this year is A Child's Anthology of Poetry which we do not follow the schedule in Sunlight for the poetry. I tend to pick a couple of poetry books and we read them. I read them at lunch and we just go around the room and the kids all get a turn reading a poem. And I know poetry is beautiful and there's so much meaning in a lot of it. And I struggle to find that meaning a lot of times, but we do have a good time reading through the poems. I've always struggled with poetry. The kids enjoy it though, so we have a good time with it. And another elective outside of Spanish that Emma is going to be doing this year is this entrepreneurship from Gather Round. This is going to be like a half credit elective for her. And we have already started this. This is part of our summer homeschool plans. I'm also doing it with Jack and Lucy. We have only done the Easter mini unit through Gather Round. So far we like it. We're only a few lessons in, but there's a lot of information in here. There's extra projects every day and papers and such. So it's going to be a pretty good course, I believe. I'm going to combine this with the Dave Ramsey Foundations in Personal Finance for High School course, as well as their entrepreneurship self-study that they have online through Dave Ramsey. And all of that together is going to be this entrepreneurship half credit course based on the hours and the amount of information. I think that it will be a good half credit elective for her. Now, you will notice that I do not have math on my list, or we have not gone over math yet. I'm up in the air on what we're going to do for math this year. She has done teaching textbooks in the past. We have kind of floundered a little bit since we finished Singapore 6B, which Emma finished in 6th grade, trying to figure out what we want to do next. I'm not sure if we are going to stay with teaching textbooks and finish out geometry there, if I'm going to move her to Shoreman Math, which I've heard is a really strong math program, or Saxon and Nicole the Math Lady. I'm kind of up in the air with all of those things. Emma's between levels. She's gotten some geometry, she's finished algebra. I'm not sure if she can test into Algebra 2. We are working through some placement tests at the moment, so that's still up in the air. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me. And then we are going to be using the Adobe Creative Cloud for her fine art. She's working a lot on animation and going through a lot of tutorials. She probably spends an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours daily working on animation and teaching herself all of that, and doing drawing and all of that stuff. I would like for her to continue with music. We won't be doing music through the public school this year, so I'm not sure if we will find an opportunity for her to be participating in music outside of the public school, if there will be something that she can do, theater, music related. She may still do plays at the high school, at the public high school, but I'm not entirely sure what else will make up that fine arts credit for her. And then for PE and health, she is going to continue with her running and yoga, and we're going to work on nutrition. I don't know if it's like a half credit or a full credit. It will just depend on how much time, I guess, she's spending doing those things. We have to do PE and health each year for main homeschool requirements. So that is what she's going to be doing. Those are all the resources that I have to share with you today. If you have questions about anything that I shared, please let me know in the comments, or you can email me. My contact information is always in the description box, and I will have links to all of this information in the description box as well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.